Hi everyone.
Welcome to Crucial Conversations
with the AAs.
And
welcome.
Today is an amazing time.
Today is a very fun, like you understand. Like today is going to be hot. Like
I'm
as
happy
always,
for what's going down
today we're gonna today is going to be impeccable. It's going to be
transformational.
It's going to be
educational.
It's going to be educational. It's going to be computational. You understand? Like
which one is that one?
You understand? You understand? Like you just based on the way I'm introducing today, you know, why something is gonna be great.
Oh, I should.
You understand? You know my shit, right? So today,
oh my goodness.
But before we get into today, please subscribe, like, drop a comment.
Thank you for all who have been doing so.
Yes.
Really appreciate
we are very grateful. From the placenta of our kidney, we appreciate.
It's beyond
we are
what
grateful.
words can say.
No words.
We are really
words.
And then you see our shorts, you share it. We're happy that you did it for us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We really love.
All right.
The great support.
So going into today, into the topic of today.
Yes, so
right. Today we're going to be talking about MK. What are we talking about today?
Today we're talking about when to get married.
Kakabala tobrakata skilama.
We're just going to share perspectives, right, and principles.
Yeah. I mean, I always start with my question, right? When to get married?
Yeah.
You know, is it like the idea of when to get married, is it based on age, based on resources? Like what actually qualifies a person to say, okay, I want to get married, right? So before you start, I remember, when I wanted to get married, right? When we wanted to get married. But like, I think I remember telling somebody that I'm getting married the next year, and I don't know, like it was just so incomprehensible for her, like, you are getting married, and maybe so in my head I'm like, yeah, he's married, I'm getting married, but like, no, like, this is marriage you're talking about here.
Like there needed to be a bigger deal.
They need to be, I don't know, I really don't know what exactly.
By the way, everything amazing. I like
thank you. So I like the glasses on you and everything
on
you.
New looks.
So really, like, this idea of when to get married, is it you like what actually, like, what's the factor for it? Is it age? Is it resources? Is it is it vision? Is it business? Is it career? Is it like, at what point can somebody be qualified to say they want to get married?
Okay, so I'm imagining, I'm speaking to someone face to face, and I will ask this question just like my wife asked me, and how I would answer it is the way I answer most questions like this. Let's go back to where?
The beginning. Mr. Beninging.
So first things first. Why marriage? Do you understand? Before we start talking about when is the best age, best time, best season, how should I be? Should I have money in my account? Which you should have. But then
you should have money in your account.
No, like, even if you're not getting married, everybody should have money in their account.
So for those of us that,
I will still come
for
there.
those that don't have money in their account.
No, we'll still come there. So basically, back to the beginning, why marriage? And we always go back to when the Bible records that for this cause shall a man leave his father and mother and shall be joined to his wife, and they shall become
one flesh.
You see, that is like one of the reasons for marriage, right? Or should I say characteristics of marriage? So it's not good for man to be alone, right? Given a special assignment by God, you are not supposed to carry it out alone, technically, as God designed. Noah had his wife, Abraham had his wife, and if you check through scriptures, and Jesus Christ had his wife to the church. It says, husbands, love your wife as Christ loves the church and give himself up for it. So you can see that God also wants to express his relationship with man through the institution of marriage, right? So two people, who are depending on God, right, and also learning from each other and trusting God, in all seasons and matters of life, and growing and journeying together. And then the mandate: fruitful, multiply, replenish the earth, and subdue and have dominion. So you cannot do that. You cannot multiply without a spouse, right? That's some of the whys. So when you have that understanding, then you have to look at perspectives like God instituted marriage. God is more interested in marriage than I am. Marriage is like God's, should I say, it's his idea, and he knows exactly how it should be run, right? So if we want to get married, one thing that should be clear is the fact that God desires that I even get married. Yeah, and if I feel like, oh, I don't want to get married, there's a clause for that in scriptures talking about the eunuchs, and all of that. But that's like one in maybe 1,000 or 100. You understand? So that means the general consensus for most people is, there are a lot of reasons why people don't get married. Fear happens to be one of the main reasons, right? And lack of knowledge. Some people perish for lack of knowledge. People don't know that God is actually more interested.
You don't get married. Okay, before I mean, like, you continue, right? I think one of the things I want to probably, I don't know if this is a question.
Yeah, just tell me.
I don't know if this is a question. Yeah. So I mean, there is the idea of, I mean, okay, let me use the African context. It's more like you've grown up and you have a job and you have a thriving maybe career or something. Yeah. What are you doing as a single? Get married, right?
Yeah.
Or maybe there's a part, and it's mostly such question is like to the guy, right? You have age, right? And then I mean you are going to 30, you are going to 35. Like, what are you doing being single? You need a woman, right? And it seems like that's why we get. So are you trying to say that these are not when to get married? Like there is something about God and divine mandate.
Thank you. I get it now.
And there's also another side to it for the lady, right? So it's generally like the idea of maybe if you ask the lady or this question of when to get married, in a way it puts a lady in a I don't know if I should call it precarious situation or a very awkward or funny situation, because it's like it's the man that is meant to chase and all of that. So what of a lady that is already ready, or maybe she feels like, okay, it's time for me to get married, this is when I want to get married, and then there's no guy first coming and we are saying don't go and chase. The guy has to chase you.
So what should we do?
So what becomes of her, right? So two questions for the men that is like they're of age, and then it's like, I mean, you should get married. Like, what are you doing with your life if you have not gotten married? That's one. Like, does that mean that such a scenario is not a right scenario? Because it's like, I'm not saying it going back to the beginning in that context. And also, what happens to the lady?
So I'll attempt to answer this from the perspective of the guys and also from the perspective of the ladies. So I'll just use a textbook approach for the guys and I'll just list it out. So I would say the guy should be spiritually prepared. So let me just say, like, the when for marriage is a product of timing, right? And the when for marriage is also a product of preparation, right? So you see timing and preparation. So if you are prepared, you are prepared in time. Remember when Jesus was about to do a miracle and he was telling his mother that it's not yet time for me to, you understand? So your ability to function effectively in the situation of marriage has a lot to do with preparation and timing, right? And as a man, you would know, right? And if you do it properly. So now let me fast forward to the list of things. So number one is, spiritual preparation as a man. Number two would be financial preparation. Number three would be, intellectual preparation, meaning you have to have read books and all of that and be well aware of the world you're in, so you can plan. then physical preparation, then relational too. And you have to be emotionally intelligent too. So I've listed about 6 things, right? So those are some areas: read books, learn, go for counseling, research, a lot of preparation. Now to the ladies.
Does that mean that you have to be perfect in this, all
No,
of
but you
this?
should have it. You know when you are, I mean, you hear people say you know something about everything, but you don't have to know everything, but you can master one, but you should not be ignorant about the others.
Okay,
Do you
so let's go to
understand?
the ladies, because I have another question, but I want you to answer the ladies. I want us to cap it on resources, right?
Resources.
Yes,
Okay,
but let's go to the
that's good.
ladies.
So for the ladies, yeah, I would say that you have nothing to worry about. Why? Because like we already said, if you truly believe that God is more interested, right, in your marital settlement, then you should have like what I would call a deep walk with God, right? And God will lead you aright. If you look at the story of Ruth, it's a perfect description of what I'm trying to say. You will always have that nudging of how your steps will be ordered. And as they are ordered, you will find Boaz, or Boaz will find
Okay.
you.
Yeah.
You'll be
Okay.
positioned in a way that Boaz will find you.
Okay.
You make decisions about where to go that will lead you to finding Boaz.
Okay. So because of time, right? I wanted to that's the root scenario. I mean, one can say she was married, right? So she was already in her mother, so she wasn't like a single, in a way, a single lady looking for a husband. She was a widow, right? Following her mother-in-law and then finally found her. But I think what principle in that is the fact that she wasn't actually looking for a husband. She was there to serve. Like
Exactly.
she saw Naomi in need. Like thinking about it, this is somebody that you've lost you've lost your husband, lost your son, lost everything. You don't even have grandchildren, and you're going back to your country. Like, with what exactly are you going to go back to your country? So I feel like there was that passion for the welfare of this woman that in pursuing that, there was that God now crafting her in the lineage of grace. So that being said, I
Also,
think
look at Rebecca and Isaac.
yeah, how that she served. Yeah.
So you can see, ladies,
So yes,
here is
just
service.
give yourself totally to service, and God will take care of the rest. So
And that's something
back
unique to you as well.
thank you. So back to resources, right? So I remember, I mean, growing up, when I hear, I mean, I'm still growing up, but when I hear the stories of our fathers, you hear stories of let me not say most of the fathers of faith, it's because it's just two days in my head now. Bishop Oyedepo, and I mean, no, I my foundation was Mountain of Fire.
Okay,
so yeah, Dr. Diko Lukoya. So I hear stories of how that they didn't have money when they started. I think, I'm not sure, but I mean, I heard that it was only kettle he had with his wife and all of that. And I mean, in university, our chaplain, it was just one house, one apartment. I don't know whether it's even one bedroom. So somewhere in my head, actually, like, I didn't have that idea of you need to ensure you have resources and all of that. But I realized that when it was time for me to get married, or when I was now like getting more matured and all of that, it felt like there was this emphasis on you need to have resources, you need to have a source of income, you need to have something supplying a source of income in a way. So maybe for me, I think I was probably radical in my own approach. Like, don't worry, jump all your head inside your investment. The Lord is good. Enter, God will supply. Don't worry. Our fathers used to use kettle, Lord will do, and all of that. So this leads me to ask, what is the place of resources when it comes to when to get married? Like, is resources a non-negotiable, or is it a variable that can vary from depending on God's dealing to you, or is something that, hey, you need to ensure you have, you need to ensure it exists?
Okay. So to answer it, I would say that resources are very paramount, right? Yeah, resources are definitely a non-negotiable, right, in the journey of marriage. But the how of those resources is negotiable. So what do I mean? there are different ways that God meets the needs of men, right? There are people that are born into wealth, right? Their inheritance, everything pays of all those things. Some people pray and fast, and you see God come through for them. Some people work themselves out, save the little they can. So, however, in your journey of life, you have understood the balance of how resources come your way, which as a man you should have figured out, and as a lady you should have. If you are the man that, okay, agriculture is your thing, right? Go for it. So, and just make sure that you are adding value, whether to the kingdom or to humanity. God is a faithful rewarder, and he will not leave you stranded. And if you're also working and adding value to humanity, humanity to a large extent rewards value. So even if you say people don't pay you for your value, it will be maybe 10% of 90% of people. If 90% of people are not paying for your value, then
check
you are the problem.
Check how you are offering
or your
that
value. Is the
value.
problem, or your approach to the value is the problem. So if you look at it, either you are fully, in kingdom stewardship, and you are being blessed from that source, or you are fully, in the workplace and the resources in itself. And then again, there's something called, the spiritual advantage, which also comes by things like the blessing of the Lord. The Bible says the blessing of the Lord maketh rich.
And added no
so the question is, are you operating by the blessing of the Lord? Do you understand what it means
to be blessed?
To be blessed. Do you really understand? Have you read? There's a book I always recommend by Kenneth Copeland, The Blessing of the Lord Maketh Rich. If you read that book, your understanding will shift. That look, many of the things we're chasing for, God actually designed them in your favor. So if you have that mindset to life, there's an approach you have to resources. You don't work like, like that's the only thing your life is for. You understand? You are meant to work, right? And the capacity of the value you add where you work is where your resources will also be channeled to. And more so, as you add value both to your workplace and the kingdom, and you can have the kingdom in your workplace, but altogether you would find out that there's a multiplicative order of favor that comes. So for example, you announce your wedding and then you find out that people are blessing you from places you didn't imagine. So that's God saying that, yes, I told you that I have marriage in mind.
So all of this being said, when to get married is, first of all, look at why you're getting married and actually realizing that, see, it's God's will for you, right? And then it's beyond just your age. It has to do with also your preparation. Exactly. So in as much as you are 30, that doesn't mean that's when you should get married.
Exactly.
The question is, are you prepared? Have you prepared yourself, to be a wife and to be a husband? And then for the ladies, that you feel like, oh, I'm ready to get married, and then no guy is coming forth. Just keep serving. Put your whole heart. Don't serve God for a husband. No, serve God for God. Serve God for God.
And you come true.
And yes, and it comes true. And resources actually is non-negotiable, but then remember, you are not the provider. God is the provider. So whatever you find your hand to do it well, but don't make it your God. Make God your God, not the works of your hands. Your God is your source. Your work is your channel. Yes, your work is just a channel, basically. And as you journey, don't worry, God got you.
I got you.
So with that, we'll call it, a wrap today. A conversation. Awesome, really awesome.
I'm really proud.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
It's amazing downstairs.
Thank you so much for joining. We look forward to having you in the next conversation. And please do share, comment, subscribe. Thank you so much. Bye for now.